Hi everyone, welcome back to my series, So You Want to Sell Your House. This is Michelle Rain with Star One Realty Group. Today I'm going to focus on showing your house. So you've done the paperwork, you've listed your house, you're on the MLS, and now the call center, the agent, whomever is going to start making appointments to see your house. So the first thing that is the most important of all, and that is what I tell our sellers, is when a buyer wants to see your house, do your very best to let them see the house. Putting lots of restrictions for times and appointments will only decrease the number of showings you're getting. So if you're requiring a 24-hour notice, lots of people do not work in 24 hours where, their jobs entail other things. So a lot of stuff could happen between now and tomorrow, but today they're off of work. Today they're gonna buy a house today. A lot of times people, go, today I'm buying a house. I don't know what house it's gonna be, but I'm buying a house today. And if you have a 24-hour showing on that, most likely you're not gonna get your showing. Another thing is, that a lot of people sometimes only want to show on certain days. That happens too, where we have it. Or they want to be there when the house for the showing, and they don't want to put on a lockbox. So lots of times, those are factors, is that your schedule doesn't meet the schedule of the buyer. So if you're not getting a lot of showings, you kind of have to look at the setup that you have in order for them to show. I mean, my agents sometimes, a buyer will come in and, they've been looking at houses and they've been calling and things like that, and they'll come in and they'll go, I want to buy a house. And they'll sit with them, we'll get their pre-approval, and we'll pull a list of homes and we'll go see them. And we might see them, that day sometimes, or that afternoon or the next morning. So you got to look at that. You got to look at availability. I would say first, if you're not getting enough showings, you probably have to look at that first. Okay. So what do you need to do? They're going to come out and see the house. Well, first and foremost, I would make sure that the front yard looks good. Because I would say when we first get a buyer, we're going to give them a list of homes. So if you want to buy a house where we're located for, $175, and you want it 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, we could give you a list of probably 20 homes that fit the bill if you want to be in this area. Well, nobody's going to go look at 20 homes. Once you're looking past 5, you can't even remember what number 1 was. So what we do is we have the buyer take a run by the house. So what they'll do is they'll get their list, and we always tell them to go in the afternoon or in the evening, so they're not caught in a lot of traffic, and they drive by the house. Now if they drive by your house and your grass is tall, you got a million cars in your driveway. Anyone who's shown a lot of houses knows that you pull up in front of a house and the buyer goes, no, they know before they get in. So basically what we kind of try to do is have our buyers, prospective buyers, go out the night before the showings and take a drive by. Okay? Now if they go out and they see that the grass is tall and the things just don't look right from the outside of the house, or it could be as simple as they like the front door in the middle of the house than on the side of the house. I know that every house I've ever bought has had the front door in the middle of the house and not on the side of the house. And I know, through experience, there's certain buyers who like to have the front door on the side. Well, there's nothing you can do about that. But when you're working with a buyer, what you can do as the buyer is take a drive by. Then they know. Then they cross off, and that way then you're not taking off work or having to get the house all spiffy, so that way you're not wasting time. So I always try to tell my sellers, right out of the gate, and the first 2 weeks are the hottest time. They really are. Have the front of the house look its best. Make your front porch look cute. Do what you need to do to get that first impression. Okay. So they drove by or they liked the front picture, and now they're going to come to your house and the appointment is made. Now, the best thing for you as the seller to do is to take a walk or go get a cup of coffee while the showing goes on. You do not need to be there to show the house. It's best that you're not there, all right? Now, you might feel like, but I need to show them all these things. And you know what? Most of those things should be on your MLS or definitely on your property disclosure. On the property disclosure, you want to make sure that anything that we can't see that you have, that you put it out there, that you just got the air conditioner in less than 5 years. Your roof, we should be able to tell with the roof, but maybe you've got a whole house generator, but we wouldn't know this unless you told us. But you definitely want to put that on your property disclosure. But the showing has to do with a feeling. And I like using the analogy I was used on the last one, is about, your online sites. They're kind of like a dating site because people buy a house on a feeling. They fall in love with the house. They can't tell you why they love the house, and it's not because of your updated kitchen. It's because of feeling they get, and they get that feeling when they walk in the front door. So when you go to have your showing, go walk and stand in front of your front door and look. And remember that feeling you got when you bought the house. What is that? You probably know it more so than we. And it's not measurable. It just is a feeling on how they feel. Okay? You don't need to be there to say, here's the kitchen, here's the bathroom, here's this. They see it with their eyes. You would never go on a date that you picked from a piece of paper and have somebody, and say, okay, here I am. I'm this tall. I got this color hair. I have these color eyes. Because that person can already see that. They already saw that. They're going to get a feeling when they're in the house. So that's my best analogy there, is that, most of the time buyers buy because they have a feeling. And unless it's an investor is there to make money and they're looking for profitability, that's a totally different type of showing. But as far as the average person, and this is any price range, they're buying the house because when they walked in the door, because remember what got them there was all the data. But why they're buying the house is when they walked in the door, they said, yes, this is the house for me. Now, they may have someone who's buying the house with them, a significant other, a spouse, a fiance, that person then didn't, have all the data, and they might not have that feeling. But what I always tell my seller is let that person sell them the house, because they're the ones who know the other person involved. And if you're there, they're not going to do that. They're not going to talk. They're not going to get excited. They're just going to, because they don't want you to think they're excited, because then it might ruin the negotiations. So let them have their space. Let them get excited about your home, like you got excited about your home. But that is the most important thing. First, availability. Make sure that they can see the home. Next, make sure that you take a walk, get a cup of coffee, let them have their space so that they can fall in love with your house in a relaxed situation. Make sure that the front yard looks good. Make sure when they do come in the front door that everything is looking good, smelling good. You don't need to put a candle on. You can put a freshener in. But it needs to look good, smell good, and just have that feeling that, this is the home that they want. Just like when you bought the house. A lot of times people think, oh, but my house is vacant. It's a blank canvas. it doesn't stop people from buying. I've sold in Florida, I would say a large percentage, greater than 50, are vacant houses with no furniture, nothing in it. And I never had a buyer go, oh, I wish they had all their furniture in here. No, I'll tell you what they do. This is where my couch can go. I'm gonna put the TV here. Okay? So, if your house is vacant, it's gonna sell. If your house is furnished, it's gonna sell, unless it is loaded. If they have to move around and try to, maneuver through the house, that right there, that is something you might want to work on. It's only going to be for a couple weeks till your house sells, so make the pathways good. If your house is like going to a gift shop where you have every memorabilia of whatever it is you're collecting, make sure that doesn't steal from your showings. An example I had about 10 years ago is I went and we listed a house, and these people love Disney. I mean, their house was the coolest thing. When I walked through, I was like looking at all these things that they have, and it was spectacular. But what it did was it distracted me from the reason that I was there. And eventually I had to say to them, hey, we need to box some of this up because we need the people to look at your house and not your things. So if you find that when people are coming and they're looking at your stuff more than they're looking at the house, you might want to work on it, that end of it. So, these are just some things that we found along the way. But once you've priced your house correctly and you're getting a lot of showings, if you're not getting an offer, chances are you might need to do a little tweaking to the house, or if your price is not matching what it's worth. So, you need these two kind of go hand in hand. You price it right, you get your showings, you get your offer. So in conclusion, about showings, make the front yard look good. Make sure you stand in the foyer before they come and look around to make sure that everything looks good. There's magic foo-foo dust that sprinkles on them, and they get that feeling that they gotta have this house. They already have the data. They know you have a kitchen. They know you have bedrooms. Step outside. The agent is with them. That's their job. Step outside, go for a cup of coffee. Let them relax. Let them think that this is gonna be their home. These are just little nuances that help sell your house. So this wraps up my section on showing your house. This is Michelle Rain with Star One Realty Group. Have a lovely day.